I'm Intruder Green. You might know me from things like Waupun Correctional Institution, Cat and the Fiddle, and Cool. Welcome to the Intruder Green podcast. I said it. Crap. I mean crime stories with Intruder Green. That's what I mean. It's a new year, and I gotta say, I'm trying to get with this rebrand. You know, it's we're a few episodes in at this point, or something like that. I don't know how many it's been. I lost track already. But yeah. New year, new green. Not actually same green. But you know, hope you guys are all doing well. I am doing one thing. I've been trying to do it the last few years, and I call it Drynuary. Actually, I didn't come up with it. I can't take the credit, but my buddy Crazy Nate did when I told him about it. Basically, I don't do no drinking during the month of January because I feel like it's a good time to like let your body detox and stuff. And you know, I'm all into that green, like, I don't know, Southern California, like detox, cleanse your body kind of stuff. Good for your spirituality and whatnot. But also it's just good for your liver and probably good for your brain too, to just, get rid of all that stuff. Because, you know, when you party like green, it's probably too much and you don't want to get too crazy with it. Although we usually do. But anyway, it can be fun, but you gotta take a break sometimes. So that's what I like to do in the month of January, is take a good break. And I gotta turn this fader up a little bit here. I don't know. It seems like everything's changed every time I come back into the studio, and I gotta redo how all of these knobbies and whatnots to make the level nice and good. So I'm working on that, and I hope it sounds all right. Well, you know, I'll try to get some more stuff in the studio here eventually and make it sound real good. But for now, I'm doing what I can. And yeah, so I'm doing this detox thing. And I got to tell you, my body feels real messed up. I think that the thing is, like, you know, when you're doing jobs and stuff, you got to, like, you know, carry lots of stuff. Sometimes the stuff people leave laying around in their houses, you got to put it in a truck or a van or something. Vans are better because they're faster than a truck, but so you can get away real good. But some of that stuff's heavy, and you end up like straining your muscles and whatnot. And when you're drinking, you know, you have a good time. You don't worry about it as much. You can sleep real good, and then when you're not drinking, it's like your body's like, "Hey, dude, you fucked up. You better take better care of yourself. I know you're not drinking no more, but you got to do more than that. You got to like get in shape and stuff." And I'm like, man, I got to do that too. And my body's like, yeah, dude, you do. Of all people, you do. So anyway, and that's where I'm at. I hope you all are having a nice new year, a good new year. I know, plenty of crazy stuff going on in the world. Hopefully you're being healthy and you're not in a war zone like so many people in the world are these days. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, it is there, but not here, thankfully. So yeah. The first episode of this year now, I will say, it's funny. I was like looking through my computer and I was like, I got no more space in the Google Drive or whatnot. And I'm like, I got to clear all this stuff out. I'm pretty sure I deleted my database or whatever you call it. That's it's like a spreadsheet that says all of the episodes of the podcast on it. So, yeah, I'm totally lost as far as what number this is or like any of the stuff that I usually list a few things right at the beginning of every episode about where you might know me from or whatnot. And yeah, I might end up repeating some stuff now because I think I lost that database. I think I just fucking deleted it completely. So that's fun. We'll see how that goes. I guess it doesn't matter too much because you guys probably don't remember either. And most of you probably never even heard all the episodes. So you can't like call me on it anyway. But if you do want to call me on it, you can dial me up at 608-535-9608. That's the Intruder Green calling line. Leave me a message about it. Speaking of that, I'll give a shout out to the producers of the podcast. We got Fast Eddie Knowlton, Sarah Koenig, Luke Ellis, Chelsea McNally, and Carlos Hernandez. Thanks everybody for hanging in there over the what do you call it, the holidays and whatnot. I know it can get a little stressful, especially with money during that time. So, if you had to go, no problem. I understand. I had to go too in one way or another. But yeah, I hope everybody's doing good with that. and it's good to be back in the studio. Got some people lined up to be on the show, and I wish I could talk about them right now, but it's one of those things where I don't want to like start naming names and then maybe it don't work out, or maybe it's like the one I did with Chris from Flatliners, where we recorded a real great interview, and then I fucking I don't know, the file got all messed up and I couldn't use it, and I haven't been able to do one with him since. But we'll get back to that at one of these days, probably. I can't say that there's a whole lot going on with Master Intruder this year. Still probably laying low. Everybody's doing whatever they're doing, and I gotta get this podcast out. I'm gonna try to do some more creative stuff. I'm getting the merch shop back up at it because before, when I was doing it, I was trying to do it like legit, and I don't know why. Like that's totally against everything I stand for. So like, why would I do that? So now I got it on an Etsy store, and I think that's gonna fit what I'm doing much better. I'm still based out of Germany, so it's kind of hard for people from the States to buy stuff from there. It's easy for you to do it, but you got to pay for the shipping and stuff, and it kind of don't make no sense. But you could do it anyway if you want to. But anyway, if you're listening abroad, as it were, or like what people in America say, like anywhere in it that ain't in America is abroad. Not like a lady, but a different country. You can, you might want to hit it up and find some cool stuff on there. I got updated with all the inventories and whatnot of stuff that, it just falls off trucks, and, you find it and you put it somewhere and hold on to it. And one day, hopefully it's worth some money and people give you money for it. I've also toying around with this thing where I got all these old band shirts that I need to get rid of because, you go on tour with these bands, and then you just have too many and you can't wear them all at the same time. So what are you going to do? You got to get rid of them. And maybe, I don't know how much people actually want to pay for band shirts and whatnot. So maybe I just do a thing where like I give some of the money to charity or something, because it feels weird to charge people money for a shirt that you wore before. But at the same time, they're cool bands, and I don't want to just like throw them in the trash. That sucks. So I got to do something with them. So we'll see what we can do there. I'll probably have that up on the website, intrudergreen.com. Either through the merch store or maybe do an eBay thing, because, you get the auction going, and maybe you can, donate the funds directly to a charity. And if anybody has an idea for a charity, I'm looking to do something green. Obviously, I like the environment. I think it's real important to like do environmental good work, you make the environment a better place, and then everybody benefits, hopefully. It makes everybody's lives easier, which in turn, like everything else comes after that, I think is a good idea. All right. So anyway, on this episode, the first one of the year, we got it's how I like to interview these old timers that got all these great stories and whatnot. Well, this guy's a real old timer. I got Dave Witter on the podcast. He's an old rock and roll guy from you'll hear him when he's talking about these stories back from like the 70s and 80s and stuff. Man, it's funny because I've known him for a long time, and he's told me some stories, and I had to have him on the show because I know he's got some good ones. And I think he might have been a little like cautious to get into some of the real crazy stuff, but he definitely got some good ones. Without further ado, on with the show.
Hello, this is a prepaid collect call from
Intruder Green,
an inmate at the Harrell Correctional Institution. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. To accept charges, press 1.
I think we're good.
That's it, huh?
Yeah, that's right. So, I guess we want to talk about some crime stories, but we got to talk about, like, you know, the history of rock and roll in southern Wisconsin, I guess, as it applies to, like, I don't know, what was your main era, like the 70s and 80s, as far as that goes?
Well, we put a band together in 1973.
Oh, yeah.
Started playing regularly in 1974. And we weren't like a crime family band. However, there were some things that the statute of limitations have probably gone on.
Oh, yeah.
One gig, we drove down to Rockford, Illinois to do a gig. And as we're loading up the equipment, it's kind of a nice bar. They had a big stage. And so we're loading up the equipment from the van into the stage. And I didn't actually see this. I was outside. All of a sudden, there's some yelling and shouting, and a gunshot rang out.
Oh.
And turns out there's two guys and one girl. Someone got jealous and shot this other guy right in front of the stage. So a couple of minutes later, the owner of the bar comes down and says, "Oh, boys, you better pack it up. We're going to be closed. The cops are on their way." So we hightailed it the hell out of there.
Wow.
That was Rockford.
So you got... Yeah, all right. So that's like Rockford, Illinois, near Chicago.
Yeah.
So I guess that checks out.
South of the border.
Yeah. So was this, you've been in a few bands in your time. Was this the Easy Action Band or?
The Easy Action Band.
All right. Yeah.
And, just because we called ourselves the last bar band the last few years,
yeah,
it was still the Easy Action Band.
Yeah, that's right. I believe it to be true. Although, yeah.
We had an Easy Action gig in Columbus, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And we got done about maybe 2:30 in the morning. So it was about 3 o'clock a.m. We're heading out of town. We got a flat tire. So we pull over by this old it was just a gas station, the older kind, but he was closed.
All right.
But we noticed he had all sorts of tires in this fenced off area. So our drummer climbed the fence, got a tire.
Yeah.
Brought out to the road, and we're changing it, and a squad car pulls up behind us.
Uh-oh.
You know what you're doing, boys?
Yeah.
"Oh, we're just changing the tire, officer." "Okay, that'll be all right." And so we changed it, and off we went.
Nice. Yeah, he's just got him lying around back there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not doing nothing with him. You might as well grab one.
I know. Well,
you need it.
The cool thing, we got one with a rim.
Oh, yeah, that's real good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm surprised the cop didn't notice that the tire we were putting on it was like a mag rim.
Okay.
And we just had stupid, old vehicle hubcaps,
Yeah.
But, we had lots of fun.
Yeah, it's always extra good when you get away with a crime, like any crime really, but especially when it's kind of right under their nose, and you're like, ha, yeah, that's good.
Well, one time we were driving up north to a gig, and the lead singer had a 357 Magnum.
Oh yeah, like you do.
Yeah, and we thought, well, let's see how many signs we can shoot on the way up. So we unloaded that a few times.
Okay.
As we're going like 70 miles an hour down the highway, with cars in front of us and cars behind us. We're just blasting away. What are they going to do? Pull us over and tell us to stop that?
Yeah, right. That would be they're not gonna mess with you. They're just gonna let you shoot the signs. That's the kind of good old fashioned fun you can have with a gun.
Yeah.
So that's always good.
So we're not shooting people.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to do that. Shoot signs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So let's see. You're doing the Easy Action Band in like the 70s and then
all the 80s.
All the 80s, stuff like that.
Yep.
But I feel like the 70s especially was like kind of a more like a less lawful time in general. People seem to like if you grew up or like were, you know, a young person in the 70s, you probably got more wild stories than the people who did it in the 80s and 90s.
Oh yeah, a lot of the stories are, oh yeah, we did a bunch of cocaine and we did this and so forth, but we weren't into that, you know?
Yeah.
You know, we just drink a lot, you know?
Sure. But I mean, just getting away with stuff, like being able to, like, I don't know, drive too fast.
Well, you know, it didn't seem right to drive the equipment van without an open beer between your legs.
Oh, yeah.
You felt like you were naked, you know? And that's the way it was. In the 70s, that's when we learned our songs. And those songs are from the 60s.
Yeah.
And once we learned them, that was it. We didn't learn any more new songs.
Okay.
We had our songs, and we just kept playing them. And eventually we kind of morphed into an oldies band.
Oh, yeah.
And some real relics, you know. And, but, you know, we don't play Smoke on the Water, but, you know, we do a bunch of Animals songs.
There you go. Everybody plays Smoke on the Water, right? Like, that's probably the number one song that, and anybody who plays, you know, guitar or bass probably, you know, learn that song first. I believe that to be true.
Well, I played that when I was younger, even, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
That, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
I got my ass called into Wayland Academy because we played there. And they wanted to know if I was siphoning gas.
Wait,
I told them, no, I wasn't siphoning gas. I was on stage playing. What are you talking about?
what is Wayland Academy anyway?
Oh, it's a place up in Beaver Dam.
Okay.
It's where all the rich Catholic kids would go.
Oh, okay.
To high school.
Yeah.
And, you know, we weren't really allowed on campus there.
Oh, okay.
Because we were a bunch of long hairs and pot smokers and
stuff,
you know. But, you know, we honestly didn't do the gas. I think one of our fans did.
Oh, sure.
You know, because they were into that, you know.
Siphoning gas, just stealing it or like?
Yeah, siphoning it, taking it out, putting it in their vehicle and leaving a mess.
All right. So they come up and they ask you if you did it and you're just like, no, go away?
Yeah.
And that was all there was to it?
Leave me alone. Yeah. They had no proof.
Yeah.
And I was
pretty
actually
weird.
I was offended.
Yeah.
That they thought that I would, you know, do something like that.
Yeah, you know, people always want to judge you, especially if you're wearing like some kind of multicolored ski mask. That's like prejudice or something.
Well, you know, we'd be more the type to take the money and then buy gas.
Yeah. That's right. That's how you want to do it.
Not to steal the gas. I mean, that's kind of, you know, low life shit, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because you never know if the person's going to need that gas.
Yeah.
But, you know, everybody needs money. So, especially, you know, me sometimes. So, you just got to go get it.
Earlier on, before the Easy Action Band, I was in a band called Big Daddy.
Oh, yeah, the Big Daddy Band, right?
Yeah.
Or is it just called Big Daddy?
Big Daddy Band.
Okay.
And in 1970, they had a rock festival at the Poinet Game Farm, Poinet, Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah.
So all of a sudden we see they're going to have another one the next year. So me and the singer, we drive to Milwaukee and we go talk to the producers that are putting it on. And we came loaded for bear, brought reel-to-reel tape.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't want to hear nothing. They said, here's 5 tickets for backstage pass. If they need you and you're around, you can get on. Bye. Get it. You know. So,
yeah.
So we left. And we got to the concert. And we got in, drove in the backstage. We stopped the truck. And to our surprise, Ted Nugent walks by in front of our truck.
Uh-oh.
Back then, he was big, you know.
Yeah.
That kind of scared us because we were just in high school. And so I noticed there was a fence, a gate, going into the regular area where the crowd was. So we went through there, set up camp, and about maybe 2 a.m, they burnt the stage down because the cops came and shut it down. Helicopters took off. The promoters with all the money.
Well, of course.
They took all the money. The bands that were up there, they didn't get paid.
Yeah.
So about 8 a.m, some bikers show up at our tent. And they said, we hear you got a band. Yeah. We hear you want to play for us, right?
yeah. Like, it's a form of a question, but it's not really a question, right?
Right. Which is good because there's a couple of people in our band I think probably would have just pissed themselves not wanting to do it, But
Sure.
We did it. And it was kind of great because they set up a little stage with plywood, had some generators, and we had like a 30,000 crowd, captivated. They'd paid their money to get in for rock festival, and all of a sudden, no rock festival. We were the only band, so they weren't going to boo us off the stage. So they had a good time. So that was one experience. And we had a lot of them, but most of them weren't really newsworthy, so to speak.
Oh, yeah.
More like nail biting. Like our bass player, he was quite the drinker.
Oh, yeah.
And so sometimes after a gig, we'd have him drive until he couldn't drive anymore. And then we'd say, pull over, we're going to drive.
Okay.
But it was crazy to do that because we almost didn't make it a few times.
Yeah, that does sound crazy. Sounds kind of like a bad idea, but it's, when you were that age, you kind of do a lot of bad ideas. But I think people might know your bass player, like some of the people listening. Was that Cheese?
Yeah, it was Cheese.
Yeah. That's right.
Real name Patrick Leonard.
Yeah, he was a known around town.
Oh yeah, he used
for certain reasons.
He used to play with the Zoom band, and he also played with the Dopes.
Yeah,
they were really a good band.
Yeah,
and he started playing with us because we got more gigs, and he needed the dough, so he would start playing with us.
Nice.
And rest his soul, he left us a long time ago.
Yeah.
But great bass player and great singer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've heard some of that stuff that he's singing on and certainly playing bass on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's real cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I know I've heard some stories about, and I don't know if you want to, well, here's the thing. I'm sure that there's some stories that you might remember differently than, your singer, Flash.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll have him on sometime and he'll tell the same story, but it could be like, people will be like, oh, that's different from how you remembered it. But, didn't he get you guys kicked out of some bars at some point?
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah. What was that bar in the corner in Madison that I was talking about?
Yeah, I believe it's called the Crystal Corner Bar.
Yeah, the Crystal Corner. We played there in the early 80s. He played harmonica. And last song of the night, he's dancing on the bar.
Oh, yeah. That's good to do.
And the owner didn't like it, and he said, you guys won't ever play her again.
Oh, yeah.
So that was it. Well, 3 long years passed. And I think he just needed a band that night, and he hired us again.
Yeah.
With the strict notion that we do not have him dance on the bar.
Yeah.
So we played the gig, and the last song of the night, he grabbed his harmonica and strutted down the bar on top of it, playing his harmonica to Roadhouse Blues.
Yeah.
And we got kicked out for life. But that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the time. He didn't get naked during that time.
No. That was a bar in Prairie du Chien. The Lakeview Resort. We were playing there, and place was packed. This was back in the good old days when bars would be just packed with people. They're all drinking heavily, and
Oh, yeah.
and back then there was a short period of time where streaking was the big thing.
Oh, yeah.
He'd be the streaker. And so he took all of his clothes off and ran through the bar. And everybody laughed, and they thought it was great, and it was really funny, you know. And it was really a good gig. We played there a lot. Then one time, they had I don't know what you'd call it, a group of Chinese citizens. They were touring, I think, a John Deere plant. And the owner of the bar knew somebody. And they said, well, let's bring the Chinese folks to your bar and show them what American entertainment is.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah. They brought them in, and all of a sudden the whole place is seated with these Chinese people.
Yeah.
And we play a song, and they politely clapped. It was really weird. And we play about 3 or 4 songs, and boom, they were ordered all to go back on the bus.
All right.
And
They got their taste. Now time to go.
Yeah. And our singer was dancing, and he had a tambourine in one hand and a big bottle of booze, Jack Daniels, in the other hand.
Yeah.
And drinking on stage. And I think the Chinese bosses, they didn't really like that. So they said, we're out of here.
Oh,
So
yeah. Well, they wanted to know what, rock and roll is all about. I mean, that sounds pretty accurate to me.
yeah. So they go on the bus, and then where's our singer? Where's Flash? We're looking around for him, and then we see him. He's on the bus.
Okay.
High-fiving people and jiving and talking, And he finally gets off the bus, and they're about ready to roll out. And we look at Flash, and he's got a big shit-eating grin on his face, and he's unbuckling his pants. And we're going, no. And sure enough, as the bus starts pulling out, he drops his drawers to his ankles. And so they mooned all the Chinese. And then they left. Long story short, is the owner of the bar,
Yeah.
he caught hell for that.
Oh, yeah.
He almost lost his job
Yeah, probably.
because of that. But we didn't know about that for, 20 years, when I found out. But, that was the reason why we never played there again.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that'll certainly get you kicked out, I'm sure. But I bet those Chinese folks never forgot that trip.
They thought freedom, what a weird thing.
Yeah, back then, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're free to drop trowel.
Drop trowel, that's right.
Yeah.
And drink Jack Daniels.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we had some things like that. They were pretty wild gigs.
Hi, Intruder Maniacs. Are you in a band? The answer is, of course you are. Everybody's in a fucking band these days. Anyway, if you're in a band, congratulations. I'm making the worst financial decision of your life. Aside from taking out college loans or something. Yeah. Now, there is a way to lessen the burden of such a financial decision. It's called merchandising. And Stupid Rap Merch Company is all ready to meet your merchandising needs. You want some t-shirts? Got a tight deadline you need them printed on? And because you booked a tour less than a month out and you didn't get canceled like everybody else's tours did? How about a bunch of weird random trinkets like keychains, medallions, and what about koozies? Like everybody likes koozies. Koozies are great because they keep your drink cold and your hand warm, or vice versa, depending on what you're drinking. Stupid Rad Merch Company can get all these made for you. Stupid Rad Merch Company is an in-house artist who can help you with your designs of stuff. They're still a small enough company that they pay special attention to you and your special needs. Because, everybody's got special needs. Like, you probably mostly. And they even got a web store. That's where the real magic is. You go on tour and you sell your stuff, but chances are you're going to have some left over, or some fans are going to feel like left out because they didn't have enough money to buy something at your show. So they go on to stupidradmerch.com and find stuff from your band on there. They'll take care of all your production and shipping fulfillment needs. So go ahead, go on to Stupid Rad Merch Company's web store right now and check out all the tight bands that are already on there. They got a bunch of them, like got at the Bomb Pops and like the Bad Cop and stuff. It's all good. All sorts of cool swag. And right now, if you go on there and at checkout, you use the code PRISON, you can get 15% off all of the Stupid Rad Merch branded apparel at stupidradmerch.com. Go check it out.
stupidradmerch.com.
Guitar players, I bet you thought you were shit out of luck when it comes to finding your dream guitar or amp. You know, you go on some auction site or something and it's all crap. Yeah, well that's because, you know, you gotta look in the right place. And the right place is Yeah Man's Vintage and Used Guitars. They got exactly what you're looking for. Now I know what you're thinking. Aren't they located in like Switzerland or something? Yeah man, they are. Bern, Switzerland to be exact. But you know, you can get on the internet and you can go check out their website, yeahmansguitars.com, and you can order stuff on there. So, you know, it don't really matter where the heck you are in the world. You can just get on their website and find all sorts of cool stuff that you're looking for. And you might not even know that you wanted it until you see it on there. And there's a lot of good stuff. If you got something specific you're looking for and need some help finding it, just hit up Yeah Man Guitars on the electronic mail. That's the email. It's like 21st century and you got email and websites. It's like amazing. Some people will call it magic. Some people will call it science. I just call it, I don't know, crazy shit. yeahmansguitars@gmail.com. As far as email goes, it's where you email them. And while you're at it, get your band a tour in Europe and stop by the shop. Michael and the rest of the crew would love to meet you, I'm sure. And you could tell them Green sent you. Yeah Man's Vintage and Used Guitars. Yeah, well, being as we're recording this up in the North Woods of Wisconsin, I know I've heard some stories about playing on there's, I don't know, Native American reservations, I guess would be the PC way to say it.
Oh, jeez. Neil Pitt, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Menominee Indian Reservation.
Yeah.
We pull up in the afternoon, and it's mom and dad, and a couple little kids on tricycles, all copacetic, sun's out, flowers blooming, and they're real friendly. And we set our equipment up, you know.
Yeah.
And we noticed chicken wire. But, you know, what are you going to do?
Yeah. I seen that movie.
Yeah.
Blues Brothers.
Yeah. And so we're setting it up, and they start kind of yelling at us and giving us a shit, you know?
Yeah.
I had a long beard, black beard at the time, and they started calling me John the Baptist.
Oh, shit.
And they started calling Flash Jesus Christ. So this goes on. We have our equipment set up now, and they're just hassling us, you know?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Flash, he jumps off the stage, slapping his ass like he's a horse, yelling, you know, I don't know, yeah, like this. And he goes running to the biggest guy at the bar.
Yeah.
He's like a 6 foot 7 inches Indian guy with a patch over his eye.
Yeah.
He jumps on his back and pretends to, let's go for a ride. Let's do a rodeo thing.
Sure.
And the big Indian picks him off of his back, looks at him. I like you.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, we were great. They loved us. We got the
Problem solved.
Except for each set that we played,
Yeah.
we had to stop because it was a complete bar brawl. And we had full bottles of beer smashing up against the wall. It was exploding on the wall.
Yeah.
And we were scared shitless. And then they'd calm down, and we'd go up to play again. And also a little fight would break out, then another one. And then full bar brawl, we'd have to stop. And this went on all night. Then finally, at bar time, the big Indian chiefs came.
Yeah, the actual like but not like the Indian chief, but like the police chief, right?
Yeah, the cops. And these Indian guys were just huge.
Yeah,
They didn't have any teeth.
yeah.
Yeah, and they were grabbing Indians left and right and hauling them out. And after they got everybody out and everything, I said to one of the Indian chiefs, I said, "It's kind of a wild night here, isn't it?"
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh no, the boys just having fun." Alrighty then.
Yeah. Oh.
And one of them said that Flash wanted to know if they had slit our tires yet. And they didn't.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, they liked us.
Yeah, Flash took care of business that night.
He sure did. Make friends with the biggest guy in the fucking bar.
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
the lesson. You know?
Yeah.
So we did that. And they asked us back months later, and we all refused to go. Absolutely. No, we can't. We got things to do.
Yeah, sorry, bud.
Yeah.
Can't do it this time.
No, that was a little too rough.
Yeah. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the time, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's like most of the time, Master Intruder shows, if there's ever a fight or something, it's like, yeah, we'll stop playing till it gets taken care of. But it's never like a full-on brawl like that. I don't think I've ever experienced that.
I tell you, it was so bad. I was standing on stage with my guitar. Couldn't play because it was the bar brawl, you know?
Yeah.
And I was looking at these people on stage, and they were just beating the shit out of each other. And I couldn't look at it no more.
Yeah.
You know? And so I looked out this little window on the side of the stage.
Yeah.
I look out, and it's the parking lot, and there's a car parked there, you know?
Sure.
I'm going, okay, I'll look at this for a while.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, some Indian jumps on the car. Another Indian walks up to him, grabs him by the neck, and just starts pounding his face in.
God.
Blood splattering everywhere. And I went, Jesus Christ. You can't look anywhere in this hellhole. Ugh. It was terrible.
Yeah.
But you know, we had a gig down in Kenosha years later. And I used to live down there. And it was a real violent city.
All right.
And
It's one of the biggest cities in Wisconsin, right?
yeah, it's south of Milwaukee, right on the border. And I walk out of the bar, take a cigarette break, halfway through the evening, open the door, and there's some guy sitting on somebody else's chest. He's just pounding the crap out of his face. And I go, Jesus Christ. I closed the door. Didn't have my cigarette break. You know?
Uh-huh.
Never played there again either, you know.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. But we had a lot of good times. We played up in a place called Big Bear Lodge.
Okay.
Up in the north. Not too far from here, actually.
Yeah.
And we played up for opening deer hunting season.
Alrighty.
And which is really kind of stupid because the bar was packed with deer hunters.
Yeah.
You know, hoopty rah, you know, that's going to go over great, you know. And our sound man had a hat that were like antlers.
Oh, yeah.
And he was running around there, and they, you know, made all these jokes about, oh, there's a deer, get your gun. You know?
Okay.
And we played. We had a good time.
Yeah.
But then we all went to my cabin. My cousin was there with all of his deer hunting friends, and we slept right on the floor. And then we got up
Oh, yeah.
and went. You know, it was just one of those things. You know, it was really more like, we were more like the Blues Brothers band.
Yeah.
You know? With
That's
the
right.
stuff that we got involved in.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Well, that was the time. That was the time to do it, I think. That was like an era of rock and roll that I don't think that you're going to, you know, bands go through that anymore so much.
Well, I tell you, we played every weekend from about 1976
Mm-hmm.
through 1992.
Oh, wow.
Every single weekend. Maybe there was a couple here and there, but we didn't. But I mean, you know, we played right through till we were now in our 40s.
Yeah.
And one time I remember distinctly, we didn't have a gig. And I thought to myself, good.
Yeah.
I'm going to go home and go to bed at 8 o'clock at night.
All right.
Way to party out.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. Sleeping is cool.
Yeah. Well, you can only do so many gigs in a row,
Oh, yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, been there.
Well, your band, you guys went crazy for a long time.
Oh, yeah, touring and stuff. And, when you do it, day after day after day on tour, you definitely lose your mind a little bit. But, hopefully, you're in a band, so everybody's losing their mind together. So it's kind of like you can handle it that way.
Did you play at the Wisconsin Inn on Willie Street, the biker bar?
We played at quite a few places in Wisconsin. Oh, that place is called the Wisco, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if we ever played there.
Well, the pool table was behind the drummer.
Yeah.
And there was no place for the band, no place for people to dance. And it was always packed with the CC Riders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing is that you guys, you mentioned before that you guys kind of became like a biker band.
Yeah.
Which maybe so like, yeah, when you first did that gig back in the day where the bikers were telling you, asking something as a question that's not really a question, maybe that was like a little foretelling, foreshadowing.
Well,
something.
we learned songs like Born to Be Wild and Magic Carpet Ride and The Doors, Love Me Two Times, and Roadhouse Blues.
Yeah.
And we just always played those. So they wanted to hear that kind of music at their parties.
Yeah.
They didn't really want to hear long-haired 80s rock.
Sure, yeah.
But
so that was like, I don't know. You got the CC Riders. Was it just them, or did you have like other?
No, the Outlaws in Milwaukee.
All right.
And there were other biker groups throughout southern Wisconsin that we play for. I can't really remember their names.
Yeah.
Weevils or something like that. I don't know.
A little bit of. I feel like especially back then there was probably a little bit of like, what do they call it? The 1%ers or something where they're like real Hell's Angel types, like real gangs and stuff. Versus, some of them are just like in a club where they like to ride their bikes around.
Well, we took some pictures, and those gigs during the summer, they would have the big titty contest. So there's a whole line of women up there. Somehow these pictures would come home with me. My wife and kids would see them, Somebody asked, "Is your father home?" My daughter goes, "No, he's out dancing with naked women." I'll never forget that.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah. That would definitely make an impression.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But we never had any trouble at the biker gigs, not at all. Where we had trouble was when we'd be playing up by the Dells, and some of these goofballs, hey, I'm in the big city, I get to go on the Ferris wheel, and I'm going to get drunk and start a fight,
Sure, like you do.
But, never any trouble with the bikers. No, they always had a good time. They knew how to party.
Yeah, that's true. I believe it to be true.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
And, that's wonderful. Can people find any of this music that you guys made, like live recordings or anything online?
Not right now.
Okay.
But I may be putting some stuff up again on CD Baby.
Yeah, cdbaby.com.
But
and that'll be like Easy Action Band and whatnot.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it was good talking to you.
Thank you.
And I'm enjoying this time out in the North Woods here. It's real easy to hide out around here because there's lots of woods.
There was bears, though.
Oh yeah, you gotta watch out for those bears.
We have real bears, not the The ones that try to play football?
Oh, yeah. They're not too good at that.
No.
But I think they're doing, well...
They're doing good this year.
Yeah, well, they're doing probably at least as good as that other team that's from Wisconsin is right now.
Oh,
so,
yeah. I heard of them.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of, going back to the 80s.
Yeah. No,
Anyway.
Don't go back to the 80s.
Yeah. Not for football's sake.
No.
Anyway. Yeah. That's, we call that a wrap.
Okay, thank you.
And that's it for the Intruder Green podcast. I want to thank Dave again for being on it. You can hit me up on all the socials at Intruder Green or go to intrudergreen.com for all sorts of cool stuff. The Intruder Green calling line is +1 608 535 9608. Patreon.com/Intruder Green if you want to become a producer of the podcast. The Intruder Green podcast is produced by Colin Bennett, management by Anka Kramer, hair and makeup Genevieve Smith, set design Dylan and CC Raymer, catering Matthew Hendershot, lights Greek Lights, Rahway, New Jersey. Our theme song is Particles by Type Bros. Christmas is a good excuse to eat everything.